If your girlfriend ever says she's not your type, run immediately. I found out the real meaning behind that saying. I met Ashley at my mom's clinic. It was our parents that set us up. Otherwise, I don't know if she'd have dated a guy like me. Because my blood is O negative, universal donor, my mom forces me to make a donation every 12 weeks. I was sitting with the tube hooked into my arm when her childhood friend, Sharon, appeared. Sharon recently moved back to our town and heard her former bestie became a doctor. She introduced her daughter, Ashley, who had stunning big blue eyes. Her skin looked even paler than mine. As a gamer, I'm basically allergic to fresh air, and she was dressed all in black. When she said hi, I squirmed on the bed, already sweating buckets. Luckily Mom covered for me. Don't mind Ryan, he's gonna be lightheaded for a while. As she removed the tube from my arm, Ashley threw a hand up over her mouth and spun away, repulsed. Her shoulder clipped a plastic container filled with cotton buds which spilled their contents across the floor. You can just leave those, Mom said, as Ashley scooped them up. It's okay, I'm totally OCD. While I sipped orange juice, our moms yacked away. I couldn't keep my eyes to myself, and every time I glanced at Ashley, she looked even more bored than I did, but I was too nervous to get a conversation going. Fortunately, my mom insisted they come over for food sometime. Ahead of the dinner party, I did push-ups in my room. Then I sat beside Ashley, who picked around her stir-fry. Don't mind her, Sharon said, slightly embarrassed. Ashley's not crazy about broccoli, or carrots, or honey or garlic or, well, she's just a fusspot in general. Underneath the table, my foot tapped so fast, and by dessert I'd barely strung 5 words together. Meanwhile Mom and Sharon drained 2 bottles of wine. Since Sharon could barely stand upright, Mom said, why don't you stay in our guest room? Ryan can walk Ashley home. It'll get him out of that crypt for once. A lot of crime happened in our town, including stabbings and kidnappings. It wouldn't be safe to go by herself. Sharon practically shoved us out the door. Don't look so scared, Ryan. Ashley doesn't bite. Ashley quietly walked beside me, arms folded. By the time we'd turned onto her street, all we talked about was the weather and how lame and transparent our mom's attempts to set us up were. Approaching her front door, I asked whether she liked video games. Her face lit up. I play a ton of Terraria, although at the minute I'm addicted to Risks of Rain 2. For the next 20 minutes I wasn't nervous at all. I got so in my element I was brave enough to say, maybe we could play together sometime? Sure. I ran straight home and bought every game she mentioned. It turned out online me was way smoother than actual me. Over Discord, I kept making Ashley laugh, which helped melt away the nerves. Then I started complimenting her. It was like climbing in a warm bath and gradually putting more and more hot water in so you adjust to the new temperature, except with flirting. One night, over Terraria, I said, how's this? If I beat you in a PvP, you've gotta let me take you on a date. I heard her smile through the headset. Sure. My hands wouldn't quit shaking. At first it looked like she might smoke me, but I pulled out a win at the last second. I took Ashley for walks around our city so she could get familiar with the area. Because of all the reports of robberies and break-ins, we never stayed out too late, but I also didn't want to run into my school bullies, most of whom knew about a hot emo chick with an absolute dumper who moved to town, and were going feral trying to find her. I avoided taking her out during the day, otherwise there'd have been a higher chance of us running into my bullies, but Ashley didn't seem to mind. After a handful of dates, we got a McDonald's. Or at least, I did. Ashley wasn't hungry. She watched me eat the chicken nuggets on a table in the park, next to the duck pond. Staring into those eyes, I swallowed a gulp and laced my fingers with hers across the table. She gave my hand a squeeze. Then, slowly, I leaned forward and went in for a kiss. Ashley must have liked it because we kissed a bunch of times. Finally, I eased back and said, I like you. I like you too, she said, smiling. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I wanted to take a picture of us and send it to every kid at my school, along with a few of the teachers who always called me nerd. I got so caught up in all the kissing I didn't realize how late it was. I told Ashley we should hurry home. We left the park and followed a road that cut through a little woodland. Ashley didn't understand why I'd become so anxious. Up ahead, I could see the light of a petrol station. I figured we'd go inside and order an Uber to take us home. But crossing the bay, a car with its license plate covered cut in front of us and skidded to a stop, brakes screeching. 3 men stepped out, each wearing masks. Grabbing Ashley by the arm, I made a break for the station, but the men blocked our path. As I shielded her with my body, somebody punched me in the gut which made me drop to my knees. Then 2 sets of powerful arms wrestled me into the trunk of the car. I thrashed around, spreading out so I wouldn't fit, until the barrel of a gun pressed against my forehead. Get in or we'll kill the fucking bitch. It was totally black in there. I could hear sounds of a struggle, followed by muffled voices from inside the cabin. The car started moving, taking corners so fast I got thrown from one side to the other. The air was warm, and getting warmer by the second, and I remember thinking I'd run out of oxygen before our attackers got the chance to kill me. As they drove, I caught fragments of their conversation. Take this next right. Do it in the forest. Nobody will see. They were gonna murder us. I pushed against the top of the trunk with my feet, but it refused to budge, and the car soon came to a stop. A door swung open, then male voices traveled around. The fact Ashley wasn't making a peep scared me worse than if she'd screamed, because at least then I'd have known she was alive and breathing. Suddenly the men yelled over the top of each other. Then a gunshot went off. While the screams rang out, I attacked the roof with kicks and blows. At one point my hand got sliced open by a piece of metal, but I didn't stop thrashing around until the world went quiet. Ashley? Footsteps slowly approached the car. I held my breath. The trunk rotated up, and then the cold air of the night rushed into the compartment. All I could make out was Ashley, silhouetted against the moonlight. I jumped up, grabbed her close. What the fuck's going on? Are you hurt? Blood was spread around her mouth and dripping from her chin. Shaking her head, she pointed at the side of the car. We were in a barren lot beside an abandoned multi-story car park. Between us and a wall of trees, 4 figures lay amongst the weeds. I went in for a closer look. The figures were skinny and shrunken and withered like Egyptian mummies. I could make out cartilage and exposed bone. Don't freak out, Ashley said, approaching me from behind. I fell over and scrambled away in reverse. I know this is crazy, but you don't have to be afraid, okay? I'm not going to hurt you. I don't normally go so overboard, but they were gonna slit our throats. Plus I was overdue for a feed. As she reached down to help me, I threw up my cut hand between us, still dripping with blood, and whimpered, "Don't kill me." Ashley doubled over and started dry heaving. "Between wretches," she said, "Ryan, trust me, that isn't gonna happen." "Oh, negative tastes gross. Like, worse than diarrhea. No offense, but that's why you don't need to be afraid of me." Using the back of her sleeve, she wiped away most of the blood from around her mouth and then smiled at me, fangs bared. "Because you're totally not my type."